Okay, now I want to talk to you about the assignments for chapter 24 and 25. The first assignment is going to be on the art movements of the 19th and 20th century. Now, there are a handful of art movements that are going to occur. So how I have it set up is an internet-based research report on the different art forms of the period of time. So here you have the six different periods of art, and Romanticism, Realism, Impressionism, Post-Impressionism, Expressionism, and Cubism. Now above here in the instructions, I tell you what you need to do. So it is set up with number one, identify the period of time when the movement was popular and when and where did it occur. So identify, this is our time period. Is it a French movement, British movement? Did it start in Germany and spread across all of Europe? Number two, provide a summary of the characteristics of the movement and the purpose and meaning behind it. So, for example, we talked about Baroque art before. So Baroque art, highly religious, darker than previous art forms such as the Renaissance. Purpose was to try to bring people back to Catholicism who were illiterate, try to bring them back through emotion. So that's what you would do. So Romanticism, provide what is this movement about, and what's the purpose behind it. And that is, that's based on your interpretation of it. There's websites upon websites you're going to find this information on, but this is yours to do, okay? Pretty much you're responsible for getting an idea of what these different art movements are based on what you do with the research. Number three, identify the two most well-known figures associated with the movement. Obviously, this is somewhat of an opinion type question. If you look up on the internet, you're going to find multiple websites that have multiple people associated with it. You pick the two that you think may appear to be most similar to this art movement. And then with the two figures, you're also going to explain why they exemplify the art. So it's a way of saying, okay, here's Vincent van Gogh is my one figure, and this is why he resembles this art form, because this is what he does. So I set it up as a 1, 2, 3. Now, 1, 2 should be easy. 3 and 4 will go together. So number 3 should include the two people and the explanation of why you chose them for the art. So it needs to be done in complete sentences. I have that listed there. So it should be, for each one, 3 sections in complete sentences describing what the section is supposed to be about. All right, so that is the first assignment, the art movements of the 19th century. All right, now there are not traditional chapter outlines for these two chapters, and how it is set up is on the handout here on the Word file. I go through and list some of the different notes and things that describe this period of time. The first one deals with the Second Industrial Revolution and the rise of the middle class. Following each section, then, there are a list of questions, and you are going to use the above information in the notes in order to help you answer the questions, and these also need to be done in complete sentences. So for chapter 24, it focuses a lot on the Second Industrial Revolution, the rise of the middle class, urban life because of the Second Industrial Revolution. So pretty much all the information you need to do it is right here in front of you. You don't have to do any extra research on your own. It also brings in the barriers for women, the rise of feminism, Jews, as I talked about in the previous lesson, the rise of trade unions or labor unions. Okay, so 24 is mostly about the urbanization of Europe due to the Second Industrial Revolution. So you need to answer all questions in complete sentences. And then the last one is chapter 25. Now, this by far I think is this may be one of the hardest chapters of the entire year, because it's all about what we call social sciences. And it's the same setup. The notes are given for you, but what it begins introducing are some of these individuals like Charles Darwin, who comes up with the idea of natural selection, and also introduces some of these other people, like Herbert Spencer, who actually is the guy who coins the term social Darwinism. So it is set up the same way. And as you get down in here, then you get into some people who are people that are considered to be psychologists, sociologists, scientists. Friedrich Nietzsche's in here, and you just kind of go down through. It talks about some of the issues that were still persisting with the Catholic Church at this period of time, and also the introduction of Islam into Europe because of the issues with the Ottoman Empire in southeastern Europe. Okay, now you get down to this section, you see science towards the 20th century, the introduction of physics. So you have some people in there. I'm sure everyone knows who Albert Einstein is, but it has some other individuals there. And then, other than that, you kind of scroll down through, and it talks about some of the different changes. Keynesian economics, which is something that's pretty popular today. And other than that, it's pretty much the same idea. But it's hard because these are people who have, it's all thinking, it's all these new thoughts and things that are coming out. So just, read through and try to do your best with it. And other than that, that's pretty much what it is. Okay, so this last section here on modern art, this you do not have to do, and I will delete this, or I'm not going to delete it, but you don't have to do the last section on modern art because that's what your other assignment has you doing. But I'll leave the notes on here if you want to use them. You certainly can use them to help you if you want. All right, so those are the 3 assignments, and the due date for them, I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking right now it may be March 28th, which will be next Friday. But I'm not sure, and I will let you know as soon as I figure out what date I want to assign it. So you have the rest of this period to decide what you want to do with this. If you want to, I would highly suggest start working on at least one of the assignments today, and make sure you open the files. They're all in the wiki space, and you should save them into whatever documents or save them onto your flash drive so that you have them, because they will need to be turned in either through printing them or emailing them to me. So go ahead and you can stop the video and go ahead and get started.